The Elephant in the Shop, a warning from the wild. It began, as such stories often do, with the quiet absurdity of a wild creature in a human space. In the early hours of 2nd June 2025, Plai Biang Lek, a 30-year-old wild elephant known to rangers in Thailand's Khao Yai National Park, wandered into a local grocery shop. His name, which means the little one who strays in Thai, feels almost prophetic. Not to cause harm, nor in distress, but simply to eat. Calmly, methodically, he helped himself to 9 bags of sweet rice crackers, a sandwich, and some dried bananas. But he left behind a little more than muddy footprints, a broken ceiling tile, and unpaid bills. He left us a chilling reminder, a warning about what habitat destruction means to wildlife. Species extinction. No one was hurt. The shopkeeper, Kamploi Kakayo, was more bemused than alarmed. But behind this charming anecdote lies a deeper tragedy, one not of misbehavior, but of misplacement. Plai Biang Lek didn't break into a shop. He returned to a forest that is no longer there. A world shrinking for the wild. Thailand's wild elephants once roamed freely across vast forests. Today, their territory has shrunk dramatically. Rapid agricultural expansion, unregulated development, and encroaching infrastructure have fractured their habitat. What was once a mosaic of biodiverse ecosystems is now a patchwork of plantations, roads, and towns. Elephants are creatures of memory. Their migratory paths are generational, embedded in herd culture. When a forest is replaced by concrete, they do not understand that the trail is gone. They follow it still. That is how a bull elephant ends up delicately tiptoeing through snack aisles at 2 a.m. But this is not just about one elephant. It is about the tens of thousands of species that vanish each year, often unrecorded, because their habitat was raised for short-term human gain. It is about biodiversity and how its collapse threatens the very systems that sustain us. The 6th extinction in real time. Biologists call it the 6th mass extinction. The first driven not by asteroids or volcanism, but by one species, us. Current extinction rates are estimated to be between 100 and 1,000 times the natural background rate. The IUCN lists over 44,000 species as threatened with extinction. And this is not just a problem of faraway forests or charismatic megafauna. Biodiversity loss impacts agriculture, water supply, disease resilience, and climate stability. Every species lost is a thread pulled from the tapestry of life, a tapestry that also shelters us. The illusion of development. We speak often of development as though it were a unidirectional good. But what is development if it comes at the cost of clean air, wild spaces, and intergenerational survival? When a rainforest becomes a rubber plantation, GDP may rise, but carbon sequestration falls, watersheds degrade, and endemic species vanish. What Plai Biang Lek reminds us, gently, perhaps more effectively than any lecture, is that our version of progress is often indifferent to the lives it displaces. His snack run was not a novelty, it was a symptom. Toward sustainability. The challenge now is to redefine development, to decarbonize and decentralize, to integrate conservation into economic logic. Sustainable development isn't a contradiction in terms. It is the only path left that can guarantee a livable future. This means expanding protected areas and reconnecting fragmented habitats with wildlife corridors, imposing strict environmental impact assessments on infrastructure and agriculture, shifting subsidies from resource extraction to regenerative agriculture and ecotourism, recognizing and empowering indigenous communities as stewards of biodiversity. It also requires a new humility, an acknowledgement that we are not the only species with claims to this earth. The real cost of convenience. We marvel at the image of an elephant picking snacks off a shelf, but we forget that he once foraged beneath ancient canopies of fig and bamboo. We scroll past news of a frog going extinct in the Andes or a coral reef bleaching in Micronesia because these things are too distant or too depressing to hold in the mind for long. But the loss accumulates. The noise of our civilization, our highways, chainsaws, and expanding cities, is drowning out the quiet logic of ecosystems finely tuned over millennia. A final reflection. Perhaps Plai Biang Lek did more than raid a grocery shop. Perhaps he held up a mirror, not in anger, not in desperation, but in gentle confusion. He reminds us that our world is not just ours. that other species still move through it, confused by its new walls, searching for what was once abundant and free. The choice is ours, to continue building over the forest, or to leave enough of it intact for elephants to find their food where it belongs, in the wild, not on our shelves. Perhaps that was Plai Biang Lek's true message. Not just a visit, but a warning. A heartfelt light. To every soul whose hand did give, you've helped me dream, helped me live. In darkest hours your light came through, with hearts so kind, so pure, so true. Your gifts, like stars in deepest night, have steered me gently toward the light. Each coin, each word, each silent prayer, a thread of hope, so rich, so rare. My eyes once dimmed, now seek the skies, and slowly, clearer visions rise. Because of you, I dare to see the world again, its grace, its plea. Your compassion's flame will not just stay with me alone. It lights the way for others wandering through despair to feel the warmth of selfless care. You've shown what love in action means, in quiet ways through giving scenes. You've built a bridge from soul to soul and made the broken feel more whole. So let this thanks rise like a song, a melody both soft and strong. May your example gently call more hearts to rise to give. To fall into the joy of lifting pain, of planting hope where none remains. Your kindness walks beside me still, a light, a love, a living will.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support.